Hello, welcome to the Crypto Profits live stream. Yes, this is 100% live. We are live right now covering the most important Bitcoin and crypto news of the day. If you've got a question, if you're live right now with me on a number of platforms, leave a comment, leave a question below. If you're watching on the live stream, on the restream, leave a comment as well. I'll come back. I'll answer them later on. So now we are live, as I said, on YouTube, Facebook, DLive, Theta. You can also see us on Minds as well. So we're everywhere. I'll try to get to your comments if I can on some platforms. I may not be able to get to them. I'm surrounded by monitors. It's like the Starship Enterprise. So let's get right into it, and I hope you enjoy it. Now, I've assembled the most important news of today. Today being the 2nd of December 2020. So I thought I'd just jump straight into it. Let's hit it with a new Bitcoin credit card. This is fantastic. This is a credit card that offers Bitcoin rewards instead of frequent flyer miles or cash. So I think everyone's going to be all over this. Now, I'm not an affiliate. I'm not paid to say this. This isn't financial advice. Personally, I've gone and I've signed up for this. I'm on the waiting list for it. I can't wait. Now, this is from BlockFi, as you can see. I'm just going to scroll down. Here are some of the little advantages and things like that. I think this is a great way of just earning passive crypto. And if some of you know, if you see my channel on YouTube, pardon me, you'll see that I just did a video on cashback apps. So if you're into that sort of stuff, check out the Crypto Profits TV channel on YouTube. You'll see not only videos on how you can earn free crypto, as in really free crypto, not some dodgy app, and also how you can earn cashback or crypto as cashback. Now, speaking of Bitcoin, because a lot of people are critical of me pumping up Bitcoin, I've got to tell you about this. I've got to tell you about this news. This is like huge. So I'm going to jump across. Now, it's really interesting for me, coming from an investment banking background here in Australia, to hear what other people in the investment world think of Bitcoin. So when this guy comes out from BlackRock, now BlackRock is one of the world's largest asset managers. They have 7.4 trillion assets under management. Like, that's a crazy amount of assets. Now, their CEO said recently on Bitcoin, he said, and I'm just going to read you this quote verbatim. He said, "Does Bitcoin change the need for the dollar as a reserve currency?" So does Bitcoin change the need for the reserve? Like, it's amazing. It's a very, very bold statement. It tells you the direction many people think Bitcoin will head in. There was another quote that I've featured here on CNBC when he was saying that Bitcoin is a thin market, could it evolve into a global market? Well, asking people like me, it already is. So I firmly believe that Bitcoin is in its infancy. Now, some people may think, oh no, it's run its mile. It's currently 19K. It'll go past 20K. I've heard predictions of people saying, oh, it's going to go to $1 million. It could. Who knows? This is totally uncharted territory. And it reminds me of the .com days, which I lived through for many, many years. So that's why I'm very bullish on Bitcoin. I think it's really interesting. But as usual, do your own research. Now, I want to say another thing too. speaking of research, there are a number of metrics that you can look at, some really tangible stuff, and you can look at it yourself and make your own call on it. One of those metrics is active addresses. So I came across this today. I wanted to share it with you guys because I think it's a really, really good indicator, and I'm all for these indicators. This is Glassnode, and they do a lot of tracking if you haven't seen them before. But as you can see on the screen, I'm just going to scroll down because I want you to get this. This is the number of active addresses according to a 7-day moving average. So this is the number of active Bitcoin addresses doing stuff on the network over a period of 7 days. And these are just some data points. So I'm just going to scroll down a bit because I want you to see the years, but more importantly, I want to point something out to you. Now, for those of you who were around in 2018, like myself, like it or not, we saw a Bitcoin bubble. We saw a Bitcoin high of around 20 grand. So that is that point there in the 2018 chart. Now, since then, people say the Bitcoin bubble burst. I say it well and truly burst, and it went up again. You can see it there on the screen. Then it went up again and again and again, and now we are here. So what I'm saying is more people are using Bitcoin now than at a point at the bubble bursting in 2018. I think it's a really, really compelling piece of evidence. Now, people talk about, and I'm absolutely for this, I want to see people using Bitcoin and Ethereum and things like that in everyday life. I want to see people tinkering around and sending money to one another because it's cool, right? I want to see a business application for this, right? I'm not messing around here and, we'll just collect some Bitcoin because it's fun. No, I'm here to make money, right? I'm not ashamed of that. I'm a capitalist at heart. That's what it's about. It's about making money. And I'll just say a quick hello to M3431. I apologize if I didn't pronounce your name right, but hello. Someone from D Live checking us out. Good to see you. And good to be on the D Live platform too, because I'm all about multiple platforms, all about particularly D Live in its decentralized nature, supporting blockchain startups and things like that. Love it. So hello. That was Glassnode. Very compelling piece of evidence. I want to bring those little gold nuggets to you guys because I think for far too long we've had YouTubers and people who just talk this crap up. They just talk this shit up, really. They do. I shouldn't say that, but they do, right? They talk it up. They don't back it up with any evidence. It's all, oh my God, the next bull run is here, or oh my God, we're all going to die, or what? You know what I mean? Like, people are over that, and that's one of the things I don't do, and a very big differentiator on this channel, because I'm tired of hearing all the hype. I want to see some business behind this. I want to see the commercialization of this space. I'm not about overhyping stuff and shilling things and doing affiliates and all that sort of nonsense that you see on YouTube and other stuff. That ain't me. And quite frankly, you guys are smarter than that, and we should, we need to move on. Anyway, that's enough ranting from me. I want to show you the next thing. This is really, really cool. So we're just going to go off Glassnode. This is and I've just jumped across there to a CNBC article. Now, Mizuho, and I apologize to anyone who's Japanese who, is taking offense at my pronunciation there. But I want to take a kind of a macro look on Bitcoin. And as I said, I want to talk about integration And this is a Japanese investment banking and securities firm. They did a survey. They found Bitcoin to be growing on PayPal with 17% of its users trading. That was just a snapshot from a CNBC story today that I grabbed. I thought it was very, very interesting. It just shows that we are definitely in the infancy when it comes to Bitcoin. Can you imagine, the rest of PayPal using Bitcoin as an alternative to the US dollar or any other dollar? I think it'd be fantastic. This is why PayPal's got into the space. One other, this is a bit of a downer, I must say, but it's an important piece of news, and I think I've got to bring it to you because I really haven't seen it out there yet, and I think it will get out there, and I think these are important things to discuss. So I'm going to bring in, over the top of this Mizuho news, I'm just going to plonk this right here on the screen. I'm just going to drag it over. I know it doesn't look the greatest, but I'm going to show you this anyway. So this is, and I've lost my mouse, BTC Markets. They're a crypto exchange here in Australia. Unfortunately, they've had an incident here. They've had just under 1,000 client names and email addresses exposed. Not good. As you can see, I got the email at 3:20 a.m, so no doubt some people were up quite late into the night and into the morning. But essentially, and you can read this on their Facebook page as well, I just wanted to show you the email that I got straight from the source. They were sending out an email to their customers. They did what appears to be a sort of a test sample in batch sizes just under 1,000, and they found that they had emailed out all their clients' email addresses and names and things like that to everybody else. Not good. Not good at all. So what is the risk? Well, no funds obviously were exposed or reported as being exposed. Obviously, getting email addresses, one part of the credentials to log onto an exchange, isn't great. It's very disappointing, but the reality is accidents can happen. I've worked in security for particularly in technology for 25 years, and these things do happen. The question in my mind is, how do companies respond to this stuff? And I think BTC Markets did the right thing. They're certainly reporting this to the authorities here in terms of disclosure and stuff like that. They're the sorts of, now I am a customer actually of BTC Markets. I have used their service a few years ago when they started. I haven't used it in recent times, so I will disclose that. What I will say is, when these things happen, like the Binance incident maybe a year or so ago, for me it's interesting to see what do they do. And in Binance case, they refunded some crypto and they moved on, and they were lucky they could hold the business up like that. Smaller exchanges or exchanges with less security have folded, and for me that's what it's about. So I remember back in the day, Mt. Gox and things like that. I had an account on there as well, and a lot of people lost a lot of money. And so I'm glad they're up and running. An Aussie service. I don't know them. I've never met them, but I wish them well, because it's a really hard thing to recover from this sort of stuff. Now, speaking of recovery, here's the ultimate in recovery. This is amazing. I thought here's a bit of PR spin for you. You remember Libra? The Facebook attempt at global world domination. Well, they've changed their name. It's bizarre. So for those, actually, I should back up. I should tell you this. For those that don't know, this Libra association was a mix of companies like Coinbase and Shopify, Spotify, Lyft, Uber, and a bunch of venture capitalists. They announced just today that they're going to rebrand Libra, probably because of Facebook's involvement. I would assume they're now calling themselves DM. I don't know what that's going to achieve, but they want to rename it. Okay. Facebook, global payment system, controversial. I don't know if this name is going to save it or help it. That's a discussion for another video. It's a bit bizarre, but they talk about hiring some executives here, and doing things like protecting the integrity of the financial system, and this seems to be fluff. Honestly, I'm going to call it as I see it. This is just fluff and some paint, and I wouldn't mind seeing something solid from these guys if they're going to play in the space, or if they're just going to announce things like this. This is a waste of everyone's time, to be honest. So we'll see. Speaking of solid, credible things, this is something that is solid and credible. A lot of people have been asking, what is happening with ETH 2.0? What's going on? There seems to be some stats and some other things rolling about saying, "Oh, it's done. It's all here. This is wonderful. We've got ETH 2.0 now. Quick, go and buy Ethereum." No, it's not. Let's have a look. Here is Mr. Vitalik Buterin himself today saying, "Hey, hold on a minute. This is what's been done for the roadmap." Now, I know it's a bit of a... you might want to jump on Twitter and view this graphic in some detail if you're keen, but I will show you here. Where is it? Oh, sorry, here. ETH 1, ETH 2 merge. No more to do. So, and you can see here, some of this stuff hasn't even been... it hasn't been done at all. It's in its infancy. Some of it's nearly finished. It's still got a lot to go. So, when you hear stuff from people saying, "Oh, ETH, quick, go, buy ETH now, we're all going to miss out," no. We're not going to miss out. Right now, ETH's at a solid price. I think it hit 600 just about 30 minutes ago, actually. So, people like me have invested in ETH when it was $1,000, right? So, people having a cry over 600, please, really, like, give me a break. Just want to say a quick shout out to Jonathan, who's put a question here. What's your stance on gold deflation or inflation? Good question. I'm not. I honestly don't want to give some what could be construed as financial advice. What I will say is, if it was me buying gold versus buying Bitcoin, I'm buying Bitcoin. It's as simple as that. I see Bitcoin as a store of value. I know there's been articles today in the press, and I have read them about people or investors moving out of gold and moving into Bitcoin. That's just what is being shown in the press. I haven't seen that. I'm not a qualified financial advisor. For me, I look at this and go, I'm seeing all the right signs from an investment standpoint in Bitcoin, and that's where my money is, right? And and it's more than one Bitcoin, by the way. I'm not investing kind of, 0.00 whatever, right? I'm investing a large sum of money in Bitcoin. That's me personally. That's what I believe in. Do I think it's the next gold? Yes, possibly. Should you diversify? Absolutely. So, and for me, what that looks like is cash, gold, and Ethereum. But you know what I want to do, and I've probably gone a bit past your question, Jonathan. I want to do a video on this because I think it warrants further discussion, and it's I want to do it justice by a separate video. So if you're interested, and I know you're on YouTube, that's where the question came from. Just hit the just subscribe to the channel or hit the bell. You'll get notified when that comes out. And if you've got any other questions that you want me to include in that video, hit me up. And if you're watching on the restream, hit me up there. It'll be a little while before I can get to it. I've got a bunch of videos lined up for you guys, so stay tuned for that. But that's my honest opinion on it. What I will say though, Jonathan, is, and I've got another article coming up now, which I think you'll like, and it's about, let me just bring it up on the other monitor. I don't know if you're around, but back in September, there was a company called MicroStrategy, and they came out and they bought a lot of Bitcoin, and they bought it in two chunks actually, but essentially they bought $425 million in total worth of Bitcoin. Now, the market didn't react too badly to that. And like it, for me, this is one of those big, massive things that could just send the market, into God knows where. But they did it really carefully and I think appropriately. And it only has just come out exactly how they did it. So I just want to show you this. Here's the original tweet from, I think it's from their CEO actually, Michael, saying, "Hey, we bought 38,250 Bitcoins." That is a lot of Bitcoins, right? That's a lot. And, we got hits with some fees and expenses and things like that. And I'm like, holy moly. Okay. Now, it came out just in the last 24 hours that Coinbase was behind this acquisition. Now, why is that interesting? Well, for me, it was about how they did it. They broke this up into small pieces, and you can read the article on the Coinbase blog. I've got a link to it there. But the really interesting thing was they did some creative trading here, and their strategy resulted in a $4.25 million saving. So just using Coinbase alone, they were able to save some money. So, for me, when you've got companies like this who are investing heavily in Bitcoin, and they're serious players, it's pretty clear where this is going. Now, that's not to say, Bitcoin's too big to fail. That sort of talk. And the reason I use the term too big to fail is years ago when I was in banking around the GFC. A lot of that was thrown about in the banks. Oh, we're too big to fail. Oh, we got all this money, blah, blah, blah. And then what happened? A bunch of them did fail. So, bad stuff happens, right? But take a look around at the amount of players, where they are, and for me, the integrity of the system. So, as you can see behind me, actually, I've done a hell of a lot of study into Bitcoin and crypto and all that stuff. And my background is in security and fraud and tech. So I understand the cryptography part about it as well. And I look at this and go, all right, that gives me comfort that this is not going to blow up as much as something else. So in terms of kind of risk diversification, I'm happy with it. So finally, speaking of Bitcoin, this must be like the Bitcoin news hour. I'm getting a lot of questions from people who ask me, and you've probably heard this too, when is a good time to buy Bitcoin? And they kind of want to play the market. They've seen it go, up here and, get busy and then retract. And I was going to put a graph here of Bitcoin over time. What I might do is I might do it on the next video. Maybe we'll make that a live and do it live. Over time, you'll notice Bitcoin retracements, and hits a new high. It jumps back 15-30%. I'm just pulling these numbers out of air right now. Then it comes up and people panic and people sell out. Now, yes, we did see a shakedown post 2018, and we've seen that built, right back up until today. So people ask, well, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing right now? I'm going to make a separate video on that, but I'll tell you right now, I've bought Bitcoin and Ethereum. Looking in my hardware wallets, and you can see a bunch of them up there. One of them is actually wrapped up. We might use that as a prize. Those two I've used. That's what's in them. That's it. Bitcoin and Ethereum. End of story. Nothing else. I did own probably the top 20 coins for a few years, and decided to sell them off and go full into Bitcoin and Ethereum. I think that's where it's at until I see something else. So to answer the question, when's a good time to buy Bitcoin? Now. When's a good time to buy Ethereum? Maybe now. And the reason I say maybe now is largely based on that diagram from Vitalik and some other stuff. I know, and some people don't know this, but Ethereum's, without going into too much detail, Ethereum's moving from proof of work to proof of stake. I'll get into that in another video, but they haven't really finished, Ethereum 2.0. Yes, there's some testing going on. Am I confident in their ability to do it? Yeah. Do I think it's going to revolutionize, the universe? No. Will it result in a higher price? Probably. If you look at if you look at where Bitcoin is now, around 19K, 19,100 or something, you look at the same price, and I'm going on my memory here, I don't have the data in front of me. You look at the same price Ethereum was, which was about $1,000. Now, when Bitcoin was about 20K, 20K, Ethereum was a lot more higher than it is now. So I could quite easily put my hand on my heart and say, I think Ethereum's undervalued. But the thing that kind of worries me, and I do hold Ethereum myself, the thing that worries me about buying more Ethereum now is, how's this ETH 2.0 test going to go? Are they going to get this right? Because if they screw it up, it's gonna be a disaster. So, and the market obviously reacts a lot on fear. So I really don't want there to be a case where something stuffs up and Ethereum falls through the floor, and I think it'd be a nightmare. It would be a nightmare scenario. It may be good for Bitcoin, because some people might see Ethereum as like an altcoin and put their money into Bitcoin instead. Who knows? But we're talking theory here, right? So that's my view. Now, on that other video for Jonathan, and I note your comment there, Jonathan, about good option in relation to gold. I'll do another video for you. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell. You'll be notified when the video drops. Now, if you're watching this on the replay and you love crypto, hit the like button or ask me a question if there's something really specific that you want to see. If there's a particular topic, if there's something you're too embarrassed to ask and you don't want to ask it on a Facebook forum or any of that sort of stuff, just let me know in the comments, because I'll check them. I'll put them into my content creation, and we'll check it out. Anyway, thanks for staying up with me. It's actually 12:39 a.m. here where I am now, so there's nothing like live stream. I'm hoping to get this out to as many people as possible. Hello to all the guys on D Live, and thanks for hanging around on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed. This was the first live stream for Crypto Profits. I'm really excited to bring it to you, I know. And I am an Aussie, Jonathan, so it's despite what you may see here, I don't know how my voice sounds, so let me know. But thanks for tuning in. I want to bring these to you every day. Just the best news, minus the hype, minus the spin. I really think there's an opportunity here to cut through the BS and give you guys some real value. I'm just here to make money, and I'm not ashamed to say it. And if what I bring to you helps you guys, then that's great. And that, you know, everyone's happy. And you know, I'm doing this out of my spare time. This is my little studio I assembled. So I'll look forward to bringing you guys some more news tomorrow. I'll see you then. Have a good night. Thanks, guys.